What's up, Youthfull family? Gary here, back with another story, another thought, another day. So, like always, we got our Bible, we got our notes, we got our hat. Let's cue the intro, and let's go. Our thought for the day is called running on empty. Right? Running on empty. We've all been there where we've felt like our tank is just down and dry, and then we're always going, what do I do? So that's what this is about. What do you do when you're running on empty, right? Because it can be a hard place to be, right? Feeling like you've given, and you don't have any more to give. So I'm going to start off with something that can be a kind of controversial statement. I'm going to start off with something that's going to provoke you. I'm going to start off with something that might challenge you a bit, but stick with me until the end, and you'll see where I'm going. So the statement that I think is going to provoke, challenge, make you think a little bit is that it's not about you, but at the same time, it's completely about you. Right? It's not about you. That's something that we don't like hearing in America, in our culture, right? That it's not about us. We don't like hearing that we're not the center of attention. We don't like hearing that we're not important. And here's the thing. You are important, but it's not always about you, right? So when you're running on empty, when you're, down and out and you're wondering what to do, we find it really easy to slip into this mindset of it's all about me, it's about getting my needs fed, it's about me getting filled back up. And when we're on empty, the focus shifts to us, right? And that's what happens so often in life, in everything that we do. So what I'm going to present to you, what I'm going to submit to you is something a little bit different way to think about it, to act, to portray yourself than just when I need something going, gimme, where is it coming from? So here's where I'm going with that statement, is that Christianity, Christ, is all about you. He is all about a relationship with you, having an individual connection with you. But church is not about you, right? Church is not about necessarily your needs being met. And what I intend with that isn't saying that your needs aren't going to be met at church, because it will, but the focus of church is supposed to be on outreach. It's supposed to be on ministry. It's supposed to be on touching people's lives. And if you go into church focused on yourself, focused on me, focused on what can I get out of this, you're not meeting somebody else's needs because you're so focused on yourself. So what I submit to you is that when you're running on empty, when you're feeling drained, when you're feeling at the bottom of your barrel, instead of going to all of your friends, instead of going to church, instead of going, me, what can I get out of this? Think about it as in, you've got a need, but what if you went out and met that need for somebody else? What if instead of focused on yourself, you went and said, okay, if I'm feeling this way, other people must be feeling this way too. How can I help them? Right? So what I submit to you is that when you're feeling empty and when you're feeling drained, instead of focusing on yourself, focus on how you can meet that need in others. Because just like in the Bible, there's the parable of the talents, right? Where if if God gives you something and you take your talent, right, your value, your coin, if you will, and you just bury it, and you keep looking around saying, okay, who's going to give me the next coin? Who's going to give me the next thing? You don't see a return. You don't see a profit from that. But if even all you have is one coin, and sometimes, let's be honest, we all feel like all we've got is a penny left. That's all we have in our hands, is a penny that you can pick up off the street because people throw it away because it's that worthless. But that's all you've got. If you invest that penny, if you invest that coin that you have, whatever the value of it is, no matter what you think it's worth, if you invest it, God will return a prophet. And so what will happen, and which is awesome and amazing, is that if you're feeling empty, if you're feeling down, if you're feeling like you've just got 2 nickels, you're rubbing them together as hard as you can, and that's all you've got in life. If you invest that into people, right, into church, which is the corporate body, not a building, not a place necessarily, but the body of Christ. If you invest that into other people, if you invest that into ministry, if you invest that time and energy into doing God's work, into being a follower of Christ and in action and not just name, God will fill you, which is cool. But he's going to fill you to overflowing, because if you're trying to pour into somebody, if you're not overflowing, you're not going to have anything to pour in. And so what's going to happen is, in your lack, God is going to show strength. In your weakness, God will show plenty. And it's just going to blow your mind how when you go into a situation thinking about, I'm feeling empty, but even though I'm empty, I'm going to do something to bless others, you're going to come out the other side of the situation not even remembering that you were empty going in. And that's the cool part. So when I say it's not about you, but it's completely about you, because that's kind of like an oxymoron, right? It's something that 2 halves that don't really fit together. It's things that are on opposite ends of the spectrum. And it's like, how does this make sense? How it makes sense is when you think about it in the context that Christ is totally about you. Christ is all about a relationship with you. He wants to know each one of us individually. He wants to understand, and he does understand, but he wants that individual relationship with you. But church and the body of believers and the fellowship that you have with people, it's not about your needs. Your needs will be met, but it's not about you. We get so caught up in this me mindset. And if we shift that, and if we focus instead on how can I bless, help, sow into others, if I can take the focus off of me and put it on a need, a ministry that needs help, on somebody that just needs somebody to listen to them, if I can put that energy that I normally spend focused on myself into others, God is going to bless and return in abundance, right? So that's the thought for today. Short, sweet, hopefully. Where really, if you're running on empty, if you're right now feeling like you've got nothing left, you're down to your last penny, you're about ready to, check in, check out, whatever you want to call it, and just say, I am done, and then kind of just lay back and go, somebody feed me, right? Because that's how we act a lot is, when I've got needs, I want somebody to take care of me. If that's how you're feeling, the challenge to you is, instead of going, what can people do for me? Start saying, what can I do for somebody else? If you're feeling a need in a specific area, look at how you can feel that need, how you can fill that for somebody else, how you can fill them up and, pour into them. And when you do, you're going to receive back in more abundance than you can comprehend. And that's the cool part, but that's also the part that takes faith, because we like when we have tangible things that we can see. We like when we can guarantee something. And in life, there aren't really going to be a whole lot of guarantees. But when God guarantees it, which he does for this, you can trust it. So, as you go out and do your day, the challenge is, right, when you get into that next spot of feeling, where can I get filled up, right? First go to God and say, God, where can I pour into somebody else that's feeling the same way that I am? Where can you use me to fill this need? So that's the thought for today, guys. If you want to see more, subscribe, because they're going to be coming out fairly regularly. Otherwise, share it, like it, do whatever other social media stuff you can. We'll see you in the next one. Cheers.